Give us your best ball. ASMR.
Behind! Richarlison in behind! To Johnson! Let's go! Oh, it's offside. It's offside. It's a goal? It's a goal! Brennan Johnson! Rah! What a game. What a match. What a performance from Spurs. Thomas Frank is already proving he's a tactical genius. And today, at the deck he had, Pep Guardiola had it. No answer. None. Spurs didn't just beat Manchester City. We dismantled them. 2 goals of Brennan Johnson and Joao Palhinha, and yet our expected goals was only 1.11. That tells you everything. This wasn't luck. This was tactical execution. And here's what honestly blows my mind. Only 3 managers in the Premier League's history have beaten Pep Guardiola with 2 different clubs. Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and now Thomas the Frank Engine. Choo choo blood. Choo choo. Now listen, I'm not some tactico that moves like little things around on a whiteboard all day or draws arrows and stuff all day. But I've rewatched this game and there's some small details that you probably missed. Compare this to the match against PSG. Frank trusted his starting 11 a lot longer, made smarter subs. His press was a lot more specific in the traps and triggers that Spurs needed to actually create chances in this match. Like, for example, did you notice that Brennan Johnson barely touched the ball but still came away with the game's biggest goal? Or how Pape Sarr playing this hybrid box crasher role looks completely undroppable. So what happens if Spurs actually sign a proper number 10? Where does he even fit in? Like, genuinely, where does Pape Sarr fit in? And we cannot ignore Joao Palhinha, because what a freaking debut, man. Debut in the Premier League for Spurs, and he got his first goal, which is fantastic, and I'm so happy for Joao Palhinha. And bro, good luck scoring against the Spurs side. To go through Romero, Van de Ven, Spence, Porro, and Palhinha, good luck, I pray. Actually, no, I don't pray. I just say good luck to Premier League's attacks, because to go through that, brother, it ain't gonna happen. If we go 1 goal, God forbid 2 goals up, I dare you to try to break us down. And then we go to a 3-back, throw downs on the pitch, yeah, you're not scoring, bro. And then Jed Spence. Lock up Jed Spence. Jedi the pocketer Spence. Expensive Spence. Bro, this guy had Oliver Oscar Bobbert in his pocket for 90 minutes straight. 90 minutes. What a player, man. What a player. And there's way more to this win than just the scoreline, trust me. All jokes aside though, here's the real question. How exactly did Spurs dismantle Manchester City? Was this just a rare bad day for City and young goalkeeper James Trafford? Or does this match show the sustainable blueprint that Thomas Frank is building at Tottenham? Stick around, because we're going to be breaking down all the goals, the tactics, the key players, and most importantly, what this means for Spurs, dare I say it, challenge for top 4 maybe? And what this means for Spurs as a whole for the entire season. Drop a like, drop subscribe. Let's cook, bro. Let's get right into this, man. Let's go. Okay, so Spurs win with a 2-0 win at the Etihad. Brennan Johnson opens up the scoring in the 35th minute. Initially flagged offside. VAR review. Goal stands. Classic Johnson, am I right? Invisible for 30 minutes, then boom! Right in place, right time, right goal. He's one of the strangest players I've ever seen, genuinely. I don't think there's another player like him in the world, and I'm being so dead ass about that. Name another player that is able to ghost for the entire game and then bag you almost over 20 goals and assists in a season. That's literally Brennan Johnson. And of course, just before halftime, City gift us a second goal. Misplaces a pass straight into danger. Palhinha pounces, and on his full Premier League debut for Spurs, he makes no mistake, 2-0 Spurs. And honestly, from that point on, it didn't really feel like City were going to come back. And this is where I talk about Thomas Frank learning from the match against PSG. Okay, so bear with me here because this is going to be a little bit tricky to explain. So when City had the ball, and ignore the pretend this is City. When City had the ball, the way that we would press was a lot more coordinated, and we pressed in waves instead of like running out of steam or running all over the place essentially. So there'd be times where City would have the ball in like this sort of position, and we would kind of just almost sit a little bit back off sometimes, just wait for them to make a mistake or make for them to rush a pass. But what we saw all the time as well, when City got the ball in this position too, you'd have Johnson step up, and then of course you'd have like maybe like a City player there for support or something, maybe like another player there, and then of course you'd have everyone to a man. We were not zonal marking, we were man marking everyone. So if there was ever a player about to receive the ball, and especially rewatch the game and look, Sarr, whenever a player got the ball with their backs turned to the net, Sarr would be on them immediately. Now listen, a lot of the times he would get a foul, but a majority of the time, and we saw it for the goal, when they were trying to play out, we had Sarr right away attack the defender. Had the ball here, back to goal. Sarr was right there to pounce, wins the ball, and then Richie has his go, and then we all know what happened. Palhinha comes in there, and then boom. But the point is that whenever a player has their back to goal, we are pressing on that player immediately. So let's just say that ball gets out to there, and then goes out to there. The ball, not there. The ball ends up moving out to here. Player has his back to goal. Then we have Spence stepping up and pressuring right away. So the way that Spurs press is we sit off a little bit, and the moment that ball is coming in, the moment we see that pass come through, player is making a dart to put pressure. So there's like triggers. There's triggers that initiate the press. If they're just knocking it back between, here and here, and this is what we saw a lot after Angela's season, they would just knock the back amongst each other. Knock the ball amongst each other. I'm talking the full backs and the center backs are just knocking amongst each other. And we would have all of our players just chasing the ball. I know Solanke would do this a lot last season, would just chase the ball all around. Same thing with our wingers, just chase the ball all around here for no reason, just running around. Whereas Thomas Frank, there's no need to run around and chase. It's more so just, hey, like, we're not really looking to chase the ball like that. We're mainly looking to set traps and triggers for the press. Like, they can have the ball here. But if it's coming here and you're trying to break out, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to challenge you the moment that ball comes to you. We're going to be on you just like that. So this was something super intriguing about the way that we were pressing, the way that we were attacking Man City. Super interesting to watch. And then like we saw against PSG, it was the same thing here. There is no balls getting through the middle. Pause. There is no balls getting through the middle. If you try to put a ball through the middle, every single player, especially Palhinha, is going to be on you right away. There's almost like another wall here of just players lined up to ensure that no ball ever, and I mean ever, gets through the middle. A lot of the times Man City was playing around the outside trying to break through, but they were never really able to penetrate the middle because if they tried, you would have Porro being on you. You would have Palhinha being on you. You would have Bentancur being on you. There was no way for Man City to actually get inside, and they tried it a couple times, and sometimes it came off, but the idea for Spurs is that no balls in the middle. Pause. Okay, so Jedi Spence, I need to talk about him. My guy emptied his pockets after the game, and apparently he found Oscar Bob in there, bro. He locked him down for 90 minutes, and it reminded me of what we usually used to see when Destiny Udogie used to be balling out for us. But now, I would say that Destiny, when you're fit, your starting spot isn't exactly guaranteed. For me right now, the defensive work that Jed Spence is putting in, it's essentially his spot to lose. So Udogie doesn't just come back and get to insert himself in. No. The things that we're seeing from Jed Spence defensively and even slightly going forward sometimes is right now crucial to the way that the team is trying to play. So for me, it's Jed Spence's spot to lose, and Thomas Frank is going to have a tough decision on his hands to make when it comes to lineup selection between Udogie and Spence. And we also need to talk about how effective Jed Spence is as a left back compared to right back. It's actually night and day. I don't know what it is. I think it's because when Jed Spence is on his weaker side, he's forced to be a lot more careful, forced to be a lot more focused when he's actually on the right side. He has more freedom, so he might slack off a little bit or might try some crazy stuff, whereas on the left side, it's all business, all defense, all security. And then Mohammed Kudus, wow. Listen, his attacking output wasn't really flashy today, but his defensive work was unbelievable. He spent half the match tracking back to help Porro, especially once Doku came on. That is the kind of buy-in that turns good teams into great ones. Kudus, what a player. He could totally just be the player that has all the offense, but no defense, no work rate. But even when he's not really creating a whole bunch offensively, he's still putting in the work defensively. And that's what sets the great players apart from the excellent players. And Kudus is an excellent player. West Ham fans, keep trying, keep holding the L, because honestly, you guys got robbed. For the price that we paid, we should honestly, out of courtesy, send you guys a little bit more money. Maybe like an extra 20 million, genuinely. Because wow, what a player. Mohammed Kudus, take a bow. And Brennan Johnson, the weirdest player ever. There is no player like Brennan Johnson in the world of football. He's honestly inevitable. He will do nothing, and I mean nothing, for the entire game, but he will be there at the back post, you better believe it. He will be there to bang in a goal, no matter if it's a good finish in the box, perfect placement, or if it's even a tap-in. Brennan Johnson is inevitable, and he will be there out of nowhere like John Cena, out of nowhere like Randy Orton. You literally can't see him. RKO, boom, goal, and we are up. Brennan Johnson, man, the weirdest player. He's so bad, but so efficient, and he's crucial to the way Thomas Frank wants to play. And a player like Brennan Johnson, you cannot sell him. He's too valuable. He is too valuable. He's so irrelevant, but his irrelevancy is what makes him such a valuable player. Because he ghosts, and next thing you know, he puts it in you. Like your Lily Phillips. Yeah, it's just, I might have to cut that one out. This game was also about the managers. Frank clearly learned from PSG. He didn't rush his substitutions. He let the starting 11 do their job. And when he finally made changes, he brought on Wilson Odobert instead of Matisse Tell. Smart detail, but kept it Spurs dangerous in attack, even as we defended deeper. The smart management of Thomas Frank was on display today. Meanwhile, Pep looked stuck. Missing Ederson, and James Trafford is talented, but he looked miles off it. And when your younger keeper gives a goal to a team as well drilled as Spurs, you're in big trouble. Frank outmanaged him on the day, simple as that. No ifs, ands, or buts. So what does this mean for the bigger picture? For Spurs, it's back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets, 6 points from 6, and momentum building under Thomas Frank. It's early days, but this doesn't feel like just vibes. This feels like structure and a plan. Compare this to the first 10 games under Ange, and that was definitely a lot of vibes. But with Thomas Frank, you can see there's structure, there's a plan, and it's definitely able to keep going and be built off of. And again, only Mourinho, Conte, and Frank have beaten Pep with 2 different clubs in the Premier League. Trust me, that is not a coincidence. That's an elite company. So yeah, Tottenham didn't just beat Manchester City, they dismantled them. With pressing, with structure, and with new signings dropping in and stepping up immediately. And then of course with players like Sarr and Palhinha absolutely bossing the midfield. But here's the big question. Is this the sustainable blueprint for Spurs under Thomas Frank? Or was it just a one-off upset against City? Because right now, it feels like we're watching the start of something very, very real. But yeah, drop a comment. Who was your man of the match? Was it Palhinha, Sarr, Spence, or even Johnson, for Pete's sake? And I'll be going through all of them, of course. I read all your guys' comments, of course, and I try to reply to as much as I can. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. And if you want to see how the many different ways Spurs can beat teams this season, check out this video where I break down the absolute thrashing of Burnley and how this start to the season is a sign of good news to come.